What's going on, everybody? Hope you are awesome and welcome to Sunday morning coffee. How are you doing?
Yeah, let us know if you can hear us. We had some technical difficulties, so we ended up having to do some stuff. I think Zoom is completely overwhelmed right now with new users, so it wouldn't let us get on through Zoom.
I think so too. I think it was Zoom, man. They're trying to do magical stuff, but end up messing all the users up. But what you gonna do? We're here. What's up, Andrew? Good to see you, buddy. Happy Sunday morning. It's happy Sunday evening.
Yeah.
Probably to you right now. What's going on, Tom? It's good, buddy.
Yay. Okay. Tom
I can hear you guys. That's good.
Perfect.
That's good. I appreciate that, man. We got a Jimmy rig setup going on here. But what can you do, man? What can you do? But everyone's surviving. No zombies yet. That's good. We don't want any zombies. Today, guys, it is episode 264, I think. I did confirm it a second ago, but let me jump back in. 264, it was. Because 263 was with Steph and James. We had 262, which is how to rewire your brain to 1% performance. We had 261 when I was in Colombia with Leo.
Very cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
Lots of good stuff.
Lots of good stuff. What's going on? We got Dirk. What's up, Dirk? Finally here. Hey, we made it, mate.
Yeah.
What's up, Pete? Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're healing well. So, today,
Yeah.
what are we talking about?
So many different ideas and things. Where would you like to start?
I don't know. Let's. We got a list of questions over there for you. We got lots of different stuff. It's really a strange time, isn't it? You know, it's really a strange time. Everyone, I think, at the start thought that what was going on right now is what's up, buddy? Everybody thought what was going on right now was probably not going to be as dramatic as it has been, right? Or it is being, or it can potentially be. And so I think people's minds are a little freaked out. And so I think what we wanted to do, I wanted to talk about loads of just nonsense. It's really what it was. That's just to make things fun. But Steph wouldn't let me.
It wasn't that I wouldn't let you, but it was I thought we could serve you guys at a higher level than just kind of talking about nonsense. But we can talk about nonsense too. That's always fun. But we can also talk about some strategy, system, techniques, things that we can be doing to help up-level ourselves, up-level our mindset, keep ourselves in a positive light, considering what's going on in the world, because this will have an end. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, so it's a matter of what are we going to do during this time to allow ourselves to, again, like I said, just up-level ourselves in some way, shape, or form.
I think it's a big lesson. I think it's a big lesson just in general. Forget the virus. It's a beautiful day outside. Well, hopefully for you too. But it's about one of the first things that you said over there, right? Got lots of notes. But letting go of control.
Yes.
I think that's the hardest thing for anyone, right? I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, there are quite a few things that are out of our control right now. And one of the things that happens when we feel out of control is that our fight or flight response gets switched on. And we start to freak out. We start to, get into anxiety. We start to get into overwhelm. I know I myself was having a really hard time focusing because all I could think about was all of the things that I could not control. And what I had to do was, instead of that, I like to call it flipping my focus. So rather than focusing on this, it's like, what's the opposite of that? What I can control, what I can focus on, or what I can do in order to feel more in control of my surroundings and in my life and in my positivity and in my mindset, right?
So what things can we control?
Well, we can control what we're doing with this extra time that we have at home. We can control what we're thinking about. There's a lot of things that I think all of us can do to improve our mindset and what's going on autopilot in our subconscious mind. So the words that we're saying, the things that we're thinking, all of that kind of stuff. So this is a great opportunity to see like, interesting, I have this thought or this belief. What would be a better thought or belief? And then start to force yourself to think that other thought or belief over and over and over again.
The repetition on the new belief. Yeah, I suppose another way to look at it is you could create this as like a paradigm shift. So it's like what comes up to Christmas or New Year, you know, it's like people look at that, oh, you know, I'll make these New Year's resolutions, I'll do something different. But what the truth is, we get all these lofty goals and nature knows better, right? So it slaps us into reality. So I think it's getting clear on what's really truly important, and that means in your business and your life. But we're going to move on to some different stuff, which is why I wore this t-shirt for you. For anyone out there, check that out, right? For Matt Gallant, if you're watching, mate, hey, that's a t-shirt for you, buddy, right? The fight that never happened. And I'm sharing that because that comes out of someone's imagination. You know, the fight that never happened. Life comes out of our imagination. How we deal with this comes out of our imagination. There's people crumbling everywhere right now, and people are struggling for money, and the circumstances can get worse, but they can also get better. It's like everyone talks about like what happened with 2008, right? Big crash, but then new industries were born, right? We wouldn't have the energy crisis being solved by people like Elon Musk and all of these other people. This is the beautiful thing about entrepreneurism, right? It's the beautiful thing. We get to solve problems. We get to create things out of our head and then put it into the real world. And that's what I love. But the truth is, we can't control shit. We can't. We can control what's going on in our brain. That's about it. Who we put ourselves around, who we don't put ourselves around, right? We can buy into the fear, or we can go into the logic and just get things done. But the truth is, I don't know about you, but you look out your window, how is it? It's probably all right, isn't it? You know, I can see some bit of water, some sunshine. You know, there's no zombies running around everywhere. So we need to get things into priority in our head, or like, you know, we don't need to blow things out of proportion, is what I'm saying, right? We just need to take care of ourselves on a daily basis. But I'm ranting on. You're just sitting there, you know.
That's okay. I'm used to that, you guys. I think you guys probably know that I'm used to that. Well, no, I like your rant. Jump
into your second question.
So, well, I mean, it's more of it kind of is part of this releasing what we can't control and then focusing on what we can. And I kind of mentioned this a little bit, where it's like I started to think, well, what would serve me the best as I exit this whole, you know, lockdown mode? We're basically in lockdown. We're here in Florida right now. And there, like I said before, there is going to be an end to this. So how do I make sure that I'm emerging from this as the best, most amazing version of myself as possible? And one of the things I wrote here, and I just kind of mentioned this, is getting a handle on your mindset and what you believe around certain areas of your life. So a lot of people have negative thoughts and negative beliefs around money, around what's possible for them, around their self-worth, around their confidence level, around their intuition and their intuitive gifts, which is something that I really am a big believer in, is focusing on your intuitive gifts. And so I've actually created a couple things for my tribe of people. I primarily work with spiritually minded female entrepreneurs, and it's all about word swaps and up-leveling your money mindset mantra, right? Because those are two things that a lot of people have problems with. And so those are two things that you guys can do. We can put them in the comment section below. You guys can just check them out to help you kind of up-level this, right? Because again, we really don't have a lot of control over a lot of things, but there's a lot of great things that can happen. And I'm almost positive that Elon Musk did start his company in 2008, right? And now Tesla is this big, you know, huge organization that does amazing things for the planet. And he's obviously a billionaire, right? And that was in an economy that was dipped, right? So it's like, Did that affect his mindset? Did he think like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe now's the right time, the wrong time. No, he just had an idea and moved forward with it. But we have to work on our belief systems in order to get to that level of self-confidence and belief in our worth and our strategies and our systems and all of that stuff.
I think people's brains right now, especially in the US, they're a little all over the place, right? So you might have a dip in clients right now, depending on what your industry is, but you could have a little dip in clients right now, but you could buy into that dip, right? And then think everything's just being destroyed around you. But the truth is, it's not being destroyed around you. It's just in a dip. Have you seen that? There's an amazing science study, and it shows two balls, two like metal balls, and what they're on like a frame, and one is put in the top and it's a straight line. There's another one and it's a curved line, right? It goes like, it's not a line obviously, right? So it's a curve. But the thing is about that is the bottom one went faster than the one that did a straight line. And the reason is that's momentum for the ups and downs, and they're showing this in science in so many different ways. But that momentum creates, the motion. So when these things happen, right, understand psychologically what we're doing is we're getting momentum from the dip, right? Because that gives us new creativity, new ideas, new ways to see our business. Really getting truthful, because the truth is, if the leads aren't coming on, this isn't happening. That's your fault, right? Same with me. It's my fault. I take responsibility for that. And what has to happen is when you hit a boundary, we have to expand, right? So if you're going down in this dip right now and you're like, shit, man, this has happened. This has let me down. This person isn't getting back to me. All of these things, then understand, is this perpetual motion of the up and down is faster than the linear, right? So because of that, we have to use this momentum. So if clients are freaking out right now and they're not buying, well, again, it's the same with you, right? What's your brain at right now? Are you ready to buy stuff? Are you in the perfect place? No. But will you be in maybe a few days, Monday or next week? Yeah, right? So understand, the business isn't tanked. The world isn't tanked. It's just going through this momentum, right? So you need to understand, like even with the stock market, everyone's like freaking out with the stock market, right? But it's what's up, Vicky? People freaking out with the stock market, but this is what it does. This has just been an anomaly. This bear market's been an anomaly, right? It's not normal, but this is the momentum. So,
well, and this is what the earth does, right? This is what nature does. We have winter, spring, summer, fall.
Same thing.
Some days it rains, some days it doesn't. And we have to kind of allow ourselves to, it's like surfing, right? You can either fight the wave or you can ride the wave.
Flow.
And we are just encouraging you to get into flow, encouraging you to just ride this wave and kind of be the observer of it. And I think you've talked about this with them a million times, is kind of like stepping out and just kind of being the observer.
Right.
Instead of being the rag doll. Because what can happen is that it's almost like you get thrown around like this and you don't know what's going on. But if you could just ground yourself down into the earth, kind of ground yourself down into the space and go, interesting, okay. Well, what does this mean for me? What can I do to, again, I've said it like 50 million times already, up-level myself, right?
So surfing's a good analogy. I don't surf, but I wish I did surf. I know so many people all around the world that surf, but a good analogy. I was getting taught by my friend Dean to swim. I can't swim very well, no one taught me. And so he's really like a big wave surfer. So he was saying everyone's afraid with swimming to be on the top. Right? I mean, to be underneath the water. Everybody wants to be on the top. So everyone scrambles to get back to the top. But he says the truth is you need to make yourself so comfortable with being under the water at the bottom, being ragdolled, and that you're calm. And when you're calm there, guess what? It's like being at the bottom of getting barreled by a wave. It's like, what does a surfer look for? They look for the light. They look for that glimmer. They look for the surface. And then they're so calm inside this barrel because they've been through it before and they're getting beaten on. But the truth is all they need is that light and to let go. And then they'll pop back to the top, right? It's the same with what we're talking about. It's the same with life. Because it goes up and down doesn't mean nothing. Remember the momentum of the science experiment? Beautiful. Remember the barrel of the wave? Remember the seasons? This is life, man. So carry on.
Well, even a snow globe, right? Like it's like you shake it up and all of the sediment goes everywhere, but eventually it all settles back down.
Right.
And right now I feel like everybody's just been shaken up, and so your whole entire world is like a big cloud that you can't really see clearly. And so if you can just give yourself some space to just allow your hormone levels, your thoughts, your feelings, all of this stuff to kind of go down, back down.
The emotion, the chemicals.
Everything, yeah, because your body basically is in a fight or flight response from being like this.
Right.
And it's not a good time to make big decisions. It's not a good time to make these like, oh my God, yes, no, right? Just let yourself kind of settle back down and then take stock of everything after that.
Yeah, it was interesting. I was just about to hire somebody yesterday to come on to do ads. Brilliant guy, love the guy, really talented, worked with the best in the world, right? Really has. But my point perspective was, we need to wait a couple of weeks. Plain and simple, we need to wait a couple of weeks because we're not going to get true data on people's an emotional state as like a norm. We're just not going to get a baseline, right? So it doesn't matter what marketing strategies he puts in over the next week to me, or maybe 2, or maybe a month. We're not going to get the truth. So it doesn't matter what he's saying, and he's brilliant, and he's right, and I want to work with him. But then he got annoyed a bit, right? Because we wouldn't make that decision. The reason I wouldn't make that decision was for one reason. The psychology isn't normal yet, right? So... And it's like, we don't know what it's going to do. That's the point. We don't know what it's going to do, right? We don't know if this is going to get crazier. People are going to go even more like protective over their assets and the money. They're going to shut down or they're going to expand, right? So we need to see what's going on in the market for the simple fact then we can help people with something called a symptomatic pain. And a symptomatic pain is the thing that they're going through right here and right now. We don't know what that is right now, right? So in 3 weeks, we probably will, which means then we can serve people better with products and services and everything else. So what was my point? I didn't buy straight away. And that person got annoyed. And that was brilliant. I loved it. Because it showed me the dynamics of their true relationship and personality and who they are. Because if you'd gone into business, I was going to spend a lot of money with them, and it's a big chunk of change, right? And that means there's got to be a lot of level of trust. And someone at the start of those relationships say to you all the things that you want to hear, right? To get you over the line. Nothing wrong with that. That's great. But then if they get annoyed or react to you because you don't make a decision that they want, I'm like, fuck. How's that going to be when I'm pumping tens of thousands potentially a month or a week or a day into with them? How are they going to behave? So it taught me very early in that relationship that wasn't the right fit. And I want you to look around. I'm ranting on, guys, but I want you to look at that in your life right now. Because it's very, very important. It's very, very important for something that Steph specializes in is health and nutrition, right, for a long time. And I think, whether you agree or not, but like the people that you're around and what people are saying to you and thinking and their dominant thoughts all day is going to affect your immune system.
Yeah, no, there's a ton of, and right now, for obvious reasons, your immune system is critically important. And, one of the things I have written on my little list is to really do your best to stay away from anyone or anything that is draining your energy. That includes social media. Yes. That includes, your friend or whoever that's like, just all they want to talk about is all of the horrible things that are going on in the world. It's important to stay informed, but there is a fine line between informed and kind of obsessive. And, you have to really manage that. But yes, 100%. high stress levels, high anxiety levels have been clinically proven time and time again.
Right.
To decrease your immune system, and that's 100% not what we need right now. We need to up level the immune system, right? And you have to be careful with who you hang out with and who you're around. Obviously we can't hang out with many people, but you can talk to them via these virtual channels, and you want to make sure you're being very selective on the conversations that you're having.
For sure, because it affects something called neuropsychology, and that is basically your brain is directly affecting your cell production, your chemical production. She's gonna know more than me, but that's what it's affecting, right? Neuropsychology, and there's so many studies behind that. If you go look at Joe Dispenza, right? I mean, it's like whatever you think of Joe, he's come from being a chiropractor to now healing the blind and everything else that he's doing, amazing things, but it's just pure looking at what the cellular response is, or the brain responses, or how the body really works. That's why they talk about being in nature all the time years ago, like in the what is it? I don't know, I'm going to get the dates wrong. The Victorian days, where they used to tell people to go to the beach and the ocean to get healthy when they're sick, right? Well, why? Well, they're around nature. So because they're around nature, it's affecting the body, which affects the brain, which affects how the whole ecosystem of your body regenerates, right?
Yeah, it's true. Andy stats and science.
Give me your next topic then.
Yeah. So, well, basically, I would love to kind of talk about that placebo effect just a bit, really quickly. There are so many studies. It's not even possible to cover them all about how much power we have over our immune system, but in both ways, meaning we can make ourselves sick or we can make ourselves healthy. And again, there's countless studies behind this. This isn't woo-woo, that you have literally control over what genes get
expressed
and suppressed, and so we just have to really take that to heart and understand that a lot of the things that we're consuming through our eyes, through our ears, right, are really affecting our health. And our health is the number one thing that we need to be taking care of right now. Yeah.
It.
Yep. And so that's what, this is kind of another one that I have written here, is just avoid negativity at all costs. And this even includes your own negativity. So I found myself kind of judging people for either not taking things seriously enough, or taking things too seriously, or, whatever, dressing in a plastic gown to go to the grocery store or whatever. But it's like, none of that helps anything or anybody. And the only thing that it does is hurt you. So everybody's operating at the consciousness level that they're at the moment. They are doing the best that they can with what the knowledge, skills, and ability that they have right now. Mm-hmm. And so the more that we judge, the more that we feel judged. That's another scientific proven thing, is that the more that you judge other people, the more you then feel judged. So if I say like, oh, this person's silly or dumb or whatever, guess what? I'm going to be too scared to show up in a meaningful way, because I'm going to think everybody's thinking that I'm silly or stupid or dumb, right? And so we really want to make sure that we are watching out the things that we're saying and what we're judging and who we're judging and why we're judging, because judgment is really the ego self, and that does not serve anyone. And we need to just stay in your lane, take care of yourself, and understand and give people grace, because they've never been through this situation before, so they don't know what to do. And some of them, some people are actually not taking things seriously because it scares the shit out of them to think that it's serious. Yeah. So they'd rather just pretend that nothing's happening, So that's the thing, is that we don't know what's going on in people's minds. And so judgment is another negative emotion that will affect your immune system and health and mindset.
And it's also, because by looking at someone else, then they've got to, and they're getting a fear reaction or an anger reaction at somebody, understand what that's really doing is that's making them look inside, and it's actually making them face their own mortality. And that facing their own mortality means that, this life is finite, this life does end, this isn't going to be forever. But people tend not to think about that. But that's what's going to happen. It's like, we're born, we're going to go. That's the computer game in the middle, right? And by this, what this brings up is reality. And when people have surrounded themselves in a bubble of their reality, meaning cars and houses and this and safety and a tiny little world, nothing wrong with these things, but the truth is that creates a little a safety net that isn't real, right? It's like, oh, I go this routine, I go this time to the supermarket, I go to work at this time, I pick the kids up here, I do this. If I keep doing all of these things, then my life is smooth, okay? But the truth is, it's when we get shaken up like that that, what's it called?
Snow globe.
Snow globe, right? When we get shaken up like that snow globe, it's a case of everyone freaks out because it is constantly in the unknown, and the brain responds as an alarm system when we step into the unknown, right? So I disagree with one thing though.
Okay.
Those people that are going with gowns to the supermarket and stuff, they need to do that because it's really funny. It's really funny.
It's not funny.
But it's funny that they're going in the gowns.
I don't agree with that.
It's like it's like what are the people of Walmart? Have you seen the website? People of Walmart, man. That's funny. And we've got to keep our spirits high. Okay? That's what I think. So what else you got?
Let's look at your list.
What you got anything else down there? Well, my list was different because the first thing I probably want to talk about is what I just spoke about, actually, routines, right? So when we're not got our routine, like of a daily practice, meaning like because we have clients or we go to work or we do whatever, if we've not got that daily practice, because it changes, right, because of the situation, then what can happen is our brain can fall into old patterns. It can fall into looking for dopamine the wrong way. So it can eat more, it can look for sugars, it can look for
wine and beer and everything else, yeah.
Including crappy TV programs and all of the things that actually cause the wrong things in our brain. But what happens is when we're stepped into uncertainty, we want to start getting the right chemicals in our brain. It's just instinct, right? So because of that, guess what? It's so important to keep these routines that you're doing. So if you're meditating at 7 o'clock every morning, but you're not right now because hey, I've got to sort all this out and I've got a little bit more time in bed and or the kids are going
yeah.
I was about to say the kids are going crazy, or the dog, like our dog, decides to master this low whine.
I didn't know what you were going to say.
That just resonates through the whole house, you know, and it's perfect. 6 o'clock, 6 a.m. every single day. So that's her routine, right? She's keeping herself focused going through the coronavirus. But the point is, you've got to keep the routines for yourself. So that means eating correctly. That means watching correctly. That means your meditation or your centering or your lighting your brain up practice. And I know, look, just pick Dirk up. I know you're doing it, Dirk, dude. I know you are, mate. I know you've got the 8-figure thinker blasting in your ears every morning. Yeah. Dirk's a legend in the 8-figure thinker world.
And this is like, okay, so I'm a spiritual, very, very spiritual coach, right? So I have the science-based background. Of course, I was a researcher for many years, but there's a huge spiritual component. And one of the things that happens when our bodies get sort of freaked out, when our human selves get freaked out, in such as they are right now, it's almost like the soul exits. And you have to actually kind of like reel it back in, almost like a fishing hook. Like you have to go, come on, soul, it's safe to be back here. You can be back here. And that's kind of what I meant when I said it's almost like you got shaken like a rag doll or like that snow globe. It's like your soul just goes, pew, I'm out of here. And so as you begin to, hey everybody, as you begin to meditate and ground yourself into the space and also watching, be careful what you're watching, you guys. I mean, I've seen a lot of people watching like crazy stuff. Like, I'm just like, why are you watching this? This is
Don't
not
fuck
good.
with cats.
Like, don't watch things that are gonna further disturb you. Like, bring things in that are love and light and positivity so that your soul can enter the body, so that you can begin to go, oh, I can take care of this. I can take advantage of this. Ooh, I've got a new business idea. Oh my gosh, this one would work totally well for people who are staying home. Oh my gosh, this. Oh my gosh, that. Right? But it can't happen when your soul is out here and out of your body. Like, you can't do it. It's like you have to ground yourself down into the space.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it for sure, right? And it's the truth. And the other way to look at it is just be happy, right? Just be happy. And speaking of being happy, see this? Steph thought they were stupid, right? But I'm gonna say them anyway, because it's what it was. As I saw a post, and on this post it was all the things. Have you done these things in your life, right? And some of them are stupid, some of them are good, but the point is, it made me think, right? Because when we get back to basics and the fundamental of life is truly about experience, which grows us, and it's the evolution of our soul or our body, it's whatever the hell you want to call it, right? So it's very interesting to see the experiences that we have. So these are going to be rubbish, but I'm going to say some of them anyway. So all I want you to do for like the next 30 seconds or a minute, I'm just going to read stuff out, and you're going to go, "Oh, I've done that. No, I haven't done that." Because, as I've said it a few times before, it's Kevin Hart's interview on Joe Rogan was brilliant, right? Because one of the things that he said is that life is like a book. And he comes from the ghetto, as like the ghetto of the ghetto. And he was saying, I come from that world, but I've done all that I've done, and I'm doing because, well, why not? Because someone said I couldn't. Well, why shouldn't I be able to do that? So that's why he's learned to do all these things. But he described his life like a book. And you're writing your own book, right? So by the end of your life, you can look back on your book, and other people can read your book and go, damn, that was an amazing ride, amazing story, right? So I don't know why I'm going to read these, but I'm going to do them anyway, right? So tick these things off, right? Do you have brothers? Do you have sisters? What about pets? Have you had any surgeries? What about tattoos? Have you had any piercings? Have you been to an island?
I think you're going too fast.
I'm going too fast?
Yeah.
Have you been on an island? Have you flown on a plane? Have you ridden in an ambulance? I don't know if I have.
No, I don't think you have. I haven't. Why don't you answer them?
Oh, I can answer them.
Yeah.
Ice skating. Yes. Last time I went ice skating, I slipped over as a kid and sliced my hand open with the blade. So that's the last time I went ice skating. Been on a cruise? No.
I've been on one cruise, but I didn't enjoy it.
You got sick?
No, I didn't get sick.
You didn't?
They got sick. My sister and her family got sick,
Cruises.
but I didn't. The cruise that they went on, they got sick.
Ridden on a motorcycle?
I've ridden on a motorcycle.
Have you rode a motorcycle?
I've never driven a motorcycle, but I rode on the back of one once.
That's all I've done too. Rode on a horse?
Yes.
I rode a donkey.
I think that counts.
I don't think it's quite a horse, is it?
It counts, though, I think.
Ridden in a police car? Yeah.
Maybe.
Stayed in hospital? Yeah. Eye color?
Blue. Brown.
Coffee or tea?
What do you... I'm coffee or tea, although we're drinking tea today.
It just depends, right? Favorite pie?
He's tea. He's British. He's got to have...
Favorite pie?
Pie? What kind of pie? British pie or American pie?
Australian pie.
That's your favorite? Australian
No,
pie?
No. UK pie.
The reason why I say that is because in the UK, pies are completely different than they are in the US. Like, if you order a pie in the US, you're going to get something sweet like apple pie or cherry pie.
Pizza.
Oh, no, that's
a pie
like
too.
an Italian thing.
But that's a pie?
And they call it a New York pie. You're so international. But basically, if you order... Oh, my gosh, Dirk just said camel.
I could imagine Dirk riding a camel, man. Dirk's probably got a camel.
But in the UK, if you order a pie, it's like meat pie or like cheese and onion pie. Like, it's a totally different thing.
It is. Favorite dog?
Mutts. Any adopted dog is my favorite kind of dog.
Favorite season?
Well, what's your favorite dog?
Favorite dog?
You have to answer these too.
One that I don't have. No, I'm joking.
We
have two.
Yeah.
So, favorite season?
Yours is summer.
Yeah. Anyway, the season's a bit stupid, really, isn't it? So, favorite sport? Anything extreme?
He's UFC. Your favorite sport's UFC.
That's not a sport.
It is too.
That's an organization.
Oh, I mean MMA. That's your favorite sport.
See all the people
Pardon
out there.
me.
It's a big thing.
Pardon me.
Have you ever been handcuffed? I've never been handcuffed.
No.
Favorite fruit?
Favorite fruit?
Yeah.
Oranges. I'm from Florida.
Bananas.
Bananas. Brandy bananas.
I think that I screenshotted the same thing twice.
You did?
So I wasn't supposed to. So, 40 old-fashioned skills that kids need to know today. Man, if kids don't know these, they've got some issues. But how to write a letter. How to make a phone call. How to take a message. What? How to play with a baby.
This was the one that I was like...
These are the things that people are putting out. This is not me. These are the things that people are putting out right now.
I know, but do you really have to share them? Because
I have to share them all.
Okay.
How to plan a healthy meal. How to wash dishes. How to iron a shirt.
I don't really know how to iron, so I can't really blame any of the
iron
kids.
Shirts, man. How to read a map. My GPS didn't work the other day, and I felt so vulnerable because I don't know where I'm going in the best of times, and GPS didn't work.
Yeah, Jackie just said to skip that list. I agree, but
whatever.
One thing about Andy is that he's very, very, very good at certain things, and then there's some that he is just horrible at. And I think we're all like that. But one of the things is directions. He's dyslexic. So generally, if he says right, I automatically know that it's really left. Like he's literally like shit at directions.
I've been like that since I was a kid. And when we did that interview with Leo the other week, if you've not the ashram life, different things. Yeah, Leo's known me since I was a kid, and it was like that was just always been like that.
Tom says you need to make your own list. I agree.
Yeah, that list sucked, mate. But I'm gonna leave you with this. A little phrase, a little statement from Think and Grow Rich, okay? Favorite book, best book there's probably ever been written about, especially for times of now, because this was a book that was created by interviewing hundreds of high-level entrepreneurs, including the richest man in the world, and including Henry Ford and people like that. If you've never actually typed in Napoleon Hill on YouTube, you'll find a lot of amazing things. And one of the things, I can't remember the name, I was watching it yesterday, the 10 mastermind steps, or the 10 steps. My brain's gone blank. But read them, go through them. It's amazing, it's hysterical, it's brilliant. It's real recordings of Napoleon Hill at the time of, so it's like when TV first came out, it's black and white. And he's like 70 or 80.
Oh, yeah. So he talks like a little old man.
He does. He's like, welcome. How do you do?
Yeah.
Sit down. And he's like, it's cool, you know? And then it's like a personal chat with him. And there's 10. And it's really cool. It's like, it's really cool. You should definitely.
It's basically all about the mindset of the people who built these large industries.
Well, this book is everything that you literally need to know. I use different words, but it's the same thing. And this was given to me 18 years ago now, when I was 24, and that was amazing. You should watch it. So watch it and read it. But this is a statement, or I don't know, it's 4 paragraphs. I'm just going to read it, and that's where we're going to leave things today, okay? So is that a yes? You want me to give me some yeses there? Give me some yeses. So, okay. This is definitely for today's, with everything that we're going through. So, here we go. If you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you like to win but think you can't, it is almost certain you won't. If you think you lose, you've lost. For out of the world we find, success begins with a fellow's will, it's all in the state of mind. If you think you are outclassed, you are. If you think high to rise, I'll say it again. You've got to think high to rise. You've got to be sure of yourself before you can ever win a prize. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger or faster man. But soon or late, the man who wins is the man who thinks he can. Told you he's a badass, right? That's a badass guy. And it's interesting, Bob Proctor, who you probably know is one of the old school personal development gurus or guys, carries his first Think and Grow Rich book. I think, 45 years he's carried it around. He makes notes on it every day.
He basically has it memorized at this point.
Yeah, you definitely should. It's amazing book. Everybody needs it right now. And is there any words of wisdom? We're still getting people joining, but is there any words of wisdom that you want to leave anyone with? Because
I don't think we can do any better than Think and Grow Rich.
No, I think Think and Grow Rich is good.
I think Napoleon Hill has topped all of us. Yeah.
And we're going to put some links in the comments for everyone if you want to get a bit more information or just about this, that. Get Steph's Steph affirmation audio, right? You've got.
Yeah. I have a free 60-minute positive affirmations track that you guys can listen to any place, anywhere, anytime, while you're washing dishes, while you're cleaning your house, while you're stuck in quarantine, whatever it is, just to make sure that you're programming that subconscious mind towards the positive, towards the positive, towards the positive. That's our goal every single day, is to keep veering towards the positive.
Absolutely. And I think what's good for everyone is I'll put the World Class Performer hypnosis audio in there, because it's going to drop you straight into the unconscious mind. It's going to rewire that brain that people just don't know how to do. And it's going to drop you into an alpha wave, and it's going to do that. So I had to get both of those things. But any questions before we are out? You've got like about a minute, maybe 20 seconds. But any other questions? And I'm just going to scroll down.
And I'm also going to put in the comments section, and we'll see if we can link on the podcast as well. I have a money mindset mantras that you guys can start installing. I also have these word swaps where it's like, instead of saying this, say this. So I'll drop those two, and maybe even a few other things that I have created for my crew of people.
Yeah, we'll put some bits and pieces in there. But I just want to run through. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Pete. Thank you, Dirk. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Christia. Thank you, Emma. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Vicky. Thank you, Guy. Who else we got? Thank you, Diana.
Jackie.
Thank you, Jackie again.
Dirk.
Thank you, Sass. Thank you, Dirk. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Rob. Good to see you, Rob, brother. Who else we got?
Did you say thank you, Tom?
Yeah, definitely to Tom. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Rhonda. Thank you. Who else? I think we might be everyone who's live there right now. But much love, everybody. If you like these type of things, comment, like it. Make sure you're checking all the podcasts out, all the good stuff. And enjoy your Sunday.
Bye, everybody.